Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my cutting mat. And today is Let's Try Friday. So what I was going to do with you guys today is I went to the library this past week with my mom. They had a craft for adults and teens, and it was to make lanterns like this. It is real flowers, and you Mod Podge them and tissue paper onto a glass mason jar, and then if you put a tea light inside, as you can see, it becomes a really cute little lantern, and I really liked it. So I thought, why not make another one? And I thought, why not show you guys what I learned from doing it and just give you guys an idea of what it's like, and if you want to try one too. So first I'm going to put a mat down because I don't want to ruin my cutting mat, because we are going to be using Mod Podge. So we'll need Mod Podge, a glass jar. This one's bigger than the one I did at the library. It's just what I had around. You could use any size. You're going to need tissue papers. I wish I had a white. I don't at home, and I was like, well, I'm just going to use stuff I got. You're going to need some flowers. What I have is some dried rose petals. I also have some, I've been pressing them in this book. I have some pressed pansies. So I'm going to bring these out. And then some things that we didn't use at the library, but I thought that could be kind of fun to add in, that I'm going to try. So we got our dried flowers. We've got our Mod Podge, our glass jar. We'll need a paintbrush to put on the Mod Podge. And I'm going to try adding some of these stickers I found at the dollar store. They're $1.50, but they looked really pretty. And also, I thought of adding in possibly some glitter. So, let's get started, and I'll show you what we did. Okay, so the first step is to put a layer of Mod Podge onto the mason jar, or your jar that you're using. I'm gonna just stick my brush right in my bottle, and then you're just gonna put a nice little layer. My paintbrush is a bit stiff. Just a second, I'm gonna get you guys a better angle if I can. So you just put a nice layer of Mod Podge. Oh, it's drying quick. I mean, it's a bigger jar than we did at the library, so it's maybe going to dry quicker on me. So then what you do though is, once you've got your coat on, you're going to take your tissue paper. You could pre-cut it too, but you can just cut it into strips and stick them on. I'm going to do green and purple. You could do all just one color. You could do any color you want. It's up to you. There's so many possibilities. You could do big strips. You could do little pieces. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. Now you might have to add more Mod Podge if it dries. So what you could do is you could always just do little spots instead of doing like I did, do the whole jar in one go. You could do so many paints a section at a time. I must say, the library does some really fun activities, so you should always keep an eye out. You never know what your local library will be doing, and you never know what you'll learn, or, you know. Experience. Now don't worry too much, because we are going to be putting on a lot more Mod Podge as we go. Like I said, that one's not sticking really good, but I've got Mod Podge that I can add on as much as I need. Okay, so now that I have it all covered in the tissue paper, we're going to put another layer of Mod Podge over top of it. And then we're going to put on our layer of flowers or whatnot. So just be gentle with this part, because you don't want to move your tissue paper too much, but it also gives you a chance to readjust any tissue paper that you want to move about a bit. But like I said, see, it does move easy enough, the tissue paper, so just try your best to not shift it too much. And Mod Podge should dry pretty clear as long as it's not too thick, so you can be pretty liberal with it. But like I said, try not to put it on super duper thick. And this will make sure that your tissue paper is stuck on and ain't coming off easy, that's for sure, once it dries. Mod Podge is a pretty amazing art tool, material tool, I suppose, because like I said, you can use it for so much. It acts as a glue, but it also acts as a coating, and I think it's something that any crafter should have on hand when you can, because you never know when you can use it for something. And like I said, this little bottle here I just picked up at my local dollar store. You can get bigger bottles from like Amazon and stuff, or check Walmart. They usually have a nice medium-sized jar. It can be a little messy working with Mod Podge. Be careful you don't get it on your clothes. I did at one time, we did like paper mache with the kids and used Mod Podge, and it went on my pants and it never came off. They still have hardened chunks of glue on one of the knees, so they became my working around the house pants, like when I'm painting or something. So yeah, just be careful that you don't get Mod Podge on your clothes. It will be harder to get out. Okay, so then once you have a nice coating on everything, you are going to start to design and decide how you want to put your stuff. So, and you just literally stick it on And like I said, we will be Mod Podging back over it again. And you can use anything. You could use leaves, you could use flowers, you can use probably anything you have. But I just thought it was so nice. And the library, they had pressed so many pretty flowers for us to use. They said these are just flowers that I had in my own backyard. It's kind of cute. Put another. There. I'll do that on the, something like that on the four corners maybe. And this is the fun part. You just get creative with it. Go with how you feel. When we were at the library, they mentioned that they have done this activity before, and they did it for different seasons. They did it in fall, and they did it with beautiful fall leaves. They did it in the winter time. So you could really get really creative with it and do it for all the different seasons, which could be really fun. You could do themes like Christmas or anything like that. And it could be just nice to sit on a shelf and have lit up at night. It's kind of neat, right? Like the, do this last corner. There. Now I'm not sure if these will work. I'm sure they'll work, but I don't know how good they'll look because of the fact that I was hoping that they were clear. You know how you can buy like see-through stickers? But I'm gonna still try one or two just to see how it'll look. Like I said, I was really hoping that they were a clear, you know, you can buy like the see-through stickers or whatnot, but let's try it like this and see what happens. My fingers are getting all Mod Podgy. But see, the thing with these is the light won't shine through them at night. What color did I do? Butterfly, tulip, color. We'll do a set of the blue flowers. The Mod Podge makes your hands all sticky. There. Now, while it's still a little sticky, before I put on my last coat of Mod Podge, I'm gonna get my glitter. Let's see what happens when we add glitter to this. I'm gonna go with, I think, my green glitter, since I've got a lot of green tissue paper and that on there. So I'm just gonna gently put a layer. Now I'm not sure how well the glitter will show with the Mod Podge going, but I can kind of maybe guess and add more, or we'll see how it goes. So now we're going to put on our last coat of Mod Podge, and you want to make sure you Mod Podge the flowers in very well. Take your time to make sure you don't move them too much. Make sure I go over everything again, just because of the glitter too. I want to make sure the glitter stays. Mod Podge your stickers down. And this is a quick and easy craft. This, like I said, it was fun to do at the library. I could see getting a group of like friends all together and like getting all the supply, like having a little craft party or whatever, you know. You see those online and stuff sometimes, where this would be a great one for it, because you could get everybody to bring flowers from their yard or their walks or whatever, and then, or some sort of supply to add, and all sit around and have a nice time doing this. It would be fun, like, just sit around and chit chat while you make up some nice fairy jars or whatever you. I have seen before people do this with cutouts of fairies and stuff and put in the, I think they put them inside the jar. Maybe they put them on the outside too. I've never really seen, it's been a while since I've seen those ones, but I did see before a long time ago. It was trending, as they say, where they would cut out the silhouette of a fairy or something and put in the jar, or maybe it was the same as this kind of thing. It will take quite a bit of Mod Podge, but it still doesn't take a super duper lot. Like this little jar of Mod Podge would probably do quite a few of them, I would think. But of course it all just depends on how much you're doing and how many coats you want to have on it and whatnot. Now I'm not sure if these would be good to put outside. I mean, I probably wouldn't trust it. Mod Podge is a very good sealer, but unless you really coat them, I don't think I would recommend using them outside. But you could always try. But like I said, I have no guarantees. I've not tested that out myself yet. So yeah, so just make sure you go around and make sure all your flowers are well coated and stuck down. And now, the fun part of waiting for it to dry, so we can see how it turns out. So I'm going to let this dry, and when it's dry, I'll be right back with you. Okay everybody, so I let it sit overnight. This is it once the Mod Podge is all dried, and I'm going to show you it with the lights off. So as you can see, the stickers don't really show, but I mean the flowers don't really show either, like it's just, but I find it so pretty. It's nice to just sit and look at it. Okay, and then, so the last thing I have to do is, I'm going to get some cord and wrap around this like I did on this jar. I don't have any at the moment. I was looking in my stash and I didn't notice any, so for now I'll just leave it until I get some. But I hope you enjoyed this craft along with me, and I hope I see you in my next video. Bye for now.